Is the Dark Universe a good idea? No, that's an easy answer. All of our favorite monsters, Dracula, Wolfman, the Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Who the hell came up with this lineup? All of them fighting some greater evil, even though they're all villains and murderers. Except for the Hunchback, who's just a guy with a hunch, and the Phantom, who's just a guy with facial scars on one half of his face and illegally lives under an opera house and seduces women with his mystery. What the hell? Anyway, this universe is stupid, but so are most of these newfangled cinematic universes. I'm Logan, and this is the Game & Nerd Show. Cinematic universes are a relatively new thing. In the past, the closest we would have gotten to a movie taking place in the same universe was Japanese kaiju movies, Kevin Smith films, direct sequels, or spin-offs with a minor character. Enter Marvel Studios. In 2008, Marvel Studios changed the game in literally 37 seconds.
Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
The second audiences realized, oh my god, there's going to be more movies in the same world that may eventually lead up to something like the Avengers. Keep in mind, this was before we even heard about a Thor or Captain America movie. This was something relatively fresh and new, and it was exciting, but the problem is, it was successful. In just 10 years, the MCU has become the third most successful franchise of all time, right behind Star Wars in first, which has been around for 40 years, and James Bond, which has been around for 52 years. This is a big deal, and movie studios noticed. In comes the idea for cinematic universes for literally anything. You name it. Hasbro toys in the works. King Kong and Godzilla, check on the board. Ghostbusters, they tried it. Anaconda, yeah, I don't even understand that one. You'll notice that I'm not directly referring to Warner Bros. DC Extended Universe because it gets a pass. Why? Because the movies are good? No, they aren't, except for this one, which is okay. Because Ben Affleck is in them and he would get really sad if I said it was bad? No, he doesn't even know I exist. It's because it's a comic book series. Hear me out. I just want to note that I can't hear you if you are actually arguing with me, but I'm just going to assume that you are, so here's an explanation. Comics are shared universes, plain and simple. That's how it works. Spider-Man hangs out with the Hulk, and Batman kisses Superman or something. I don't really read DC. Anyway, the source material of these films and their respective shared universes are just that. Shared. So it makes sense that the adaptations of these materials would also be in the same universe. See? Easy to understand. Now let's get back to the main point. Why do I think cinematic universes are bad? They force a film to be something they aren't, and usually for the worse. Shooting in tie-ins to future films that have no guarantee to be made, like Universal's first attempt at a monster universe with Dracula Untold.
Let the games begin.
This makes the film take focus away from being its own thing and instead forces it to start a universe. Here's another example. In Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, I know I said I was giving the DCEU a pass, but it does such a poor job of working it all together I had to bring it up. We all know what I'm talking about here. The emails. And yeah, it's bad. And no, I'm not excusing it. I mean, how long do we have to see Aquaman floating there right before the climax of the movie? Was that necessary? No. God, no. Did it ruin the movie? I mean, it wasn't the only thing, but yeah, it really did. Oh, and one more example, a little more topical. Spoilers for The Mummy 2017 if you haven't seen it yet, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll, as in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Cool, right? No. You see, this is a mummy movie. They spend a good 20 minutes focusing on Dr. Jekyll's transformation, and it really doesn't even happen, and the serum that stops the transformation from even happening. And when he does get close to transforming, they have to hurry to get him the serum before he doesn't. In the meantime, we receive zero mummy. This attempt to tie into a future film is needless and unnecessary, except for the fact that we know that he'll be in all the other films. It's all forced in to make you buy in, and it doesn't work. Forcing all these elements to come together just detracts from what otherwise would be a alright movie. Luckily for us, most of these universes never come to fruition, but for some reason that isn't stopping the studios from trying. We'll likely see The Bride of Frankenstein, the second film in the Dark Universe, as the director and writer are already attached, but after that, who knows? And maybe one of these days a studio will prove me wrong, but let's be honest, when these are their ideas, it's not likely. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that cinematic universes are bad for movies. I mean, look at all these articles that pretty much say exactly what I'm saying, but in a more professional way and not mentioning Batman and Superman kissing. I don't know, it might have happened, I don't read DC. And I'm sure you're a little burnt out too on the whole idea. Not the kissing, the shared universe thing. I feel like I got off track. These universes need to end, and I hope they will. And I think they will, very soon. That sounded like a threat. I'm not threatening anything. So, what are your thoughts? What's the worst cinematic universe you can possibly think of? Mine is if Sesame Street and Labyrinth were in the same universe, and Jim Henson was an actual person in those universes, and he was the king ruling over all of the different Muppets, and he was a tyrannical person and enslaved everyone, including Kermit and Big Bird. Let me know in the comments what yours is. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter at The Game of Nerds, and visit us at thegameofnerds.com for articles on all your favorite franchises and fandoms. Oh, and make sure to subscribe here and click that bell to get a notification whenever we upload a new video.